Hello guys, welcome back, and in this video I'll show you exactly step by step how to use the manipulation cycle, and also I'll be going over this Nest 100 setup I sent to Discord everyone to the same trade. So let's get right into it. So as you can see in this scenario, we have a daily time frame. We swept this hard time frame liquidity point. So most people will be looking for sells. So what can we actually expect? As I said before, usually after liquidity sweep, we're gonna have a fake movement to the downside to induce sellers and then go higher. So let's go to 1H. Okay, so this is the daily close. So this will be also a new daily open. So with the next daily candle, you can expect price to go lower to create wick and continue much higher. So as I showed you, we had this previous daily bullish candle. We swept this hard time frame liquidity point. So now all you have to do is wait for price to tap into your closest continuation level. For the closest continuation level, we can use this Fibonacci level, this 3/8 level is also lining up with this daily high. As you can see, this is the daily high. So this will be the perfect continuation level. By the way, I predicted this whole movement to the Discord the day before. Okay, so after this daily close, I said that I would be expecting price to go lower into this level and go higher. And that's exactly what happened. Okay, so we have this new daily open. Most people will be expecting sells or at least pullback to the 50% of this whole push. Okay, so most people will be expecting pullback to this level. But I've been trading for like 7 or 8 years. And if it couldn't happen with 50% and not react from this level, it's probably going to go lower towards this low. So this is the only possible level for continuations. So this is the easiest way to find the continuations. You don't have to mark any like order blocks, liquidity sweeps. Just find the last push, Fibonacci from the bottom to the top, 3/8 level, lining up with this daily high. So this is beautiful continuation level. So now we understand the story on hard time frame. So for this daily candle, we would be expecting wick to be printed into this level, and then another bullish body like this on a daily time frame with this previous bullish candle closing at this point. And now we can expect the next daily candle to create wick into this 3/8 level and continue much higher. So we can actually enter inside this manipulation with super small stop loss and target this previous daily high at the minimum, because the market is moving up with momentum. So it's probably going to take out this high, create another low time frame manipulation cycle, and continue much higher. So at this point, we have a new daily open. We have this continuation level. So all you have to do is wait for price to tap into this hard time frame level. Okay, so we're going to wait. This whole movement to the downside will be just trapped to induce sellers and continue much higher. So now we tap into this 3/8 level, lining up with the daily level. By the way, there's also a specific time window for the manipulation cycle to happen. But in this free video, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. So I'm not going to go over the exact time window I'm using. But basically, if you're going to use it over and over again, you're going to find a specific window for validation or invalidation of the manipulation cycle. But as I said in this free video, I'm only going to show you without the time window. So now all you have to do is wait for price to give you some type of confirmation. So this first move to the upside is usually a fake move. We're going to mark this low, an inducement for early buyers. And once we're going to take out this low, then the price will most likely go higher. So now we just got to wait for price to take out this low. And boom, we took out the low. So all we have to do now is wait for price to give us some type of confirmation. So let's say in this example, we had this last sell before buy. We have some type of reaction from this level. Okay, so we had this push to the downside. We broke above it. So we had sellers trying to take the price lower. But instead of that, we created this huge candle. So now this could be the perfect time to enter longs from this level after we close above this push down. SL can be below this low just to be safe, because if we're going to target the previous daily high, as you can see, the risk to reward is literally much more than you need, but this is just example. Okay, so in this case, we just entered right after this close, or you can just enter the pullback because market is fractal. So the next candle will probably create a wick and continue much higher. Okay, so this is just example of some 5-minute entry model. Okay, so we tap into this level. We even swept this high, so now even more sellers entered the market who had a slow time frame market shift. But we understand that the hard time frame is going up, so this is literally all you need. Now as you can see, we created this huge push. We have this selling level, so we're probably going to create some type of fake move to the downside and continue higher. So if you miss the whole move, you can literally just put fibs from bottom to the top, find the 3/8 level like this, SL below the start of this bullish order flow. So this is the first higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So this should be the safe place for your stop loss. And the target is high as always. So now I would be expecting sells towards this level, then go higher. But I do not recommend to take sells from this level because the overall idea is bullish. And this is just a trap to induce sellers and go higher. You only want to be taking the best possible setup if you want to have high win rate around 70%. So let's see what's going to happen. Okay, we tap into this 3/8 level. Let's see if we can get some type of deeper pullback. Yeah, as you can see, beautiful rejection from this 3/8 level. And the price is moving up with momentum. And this is exactly what you want to see. And boom, TP got hit. Now we can check this pullback. It was probably printed to another 3/8 level. And as you can see, beautiful reaction from this 3/8 level, lining up with this high on the left. So if you miss this whole movement, you can just go to the 1 minute and look for the same thing. So we tap into this high. The first push to the upside is usually a trap. So we took out the low. And now this could be your entry point, stop loss below the low. And the target is still the same. This high on the left. So as you can see, everything is the same. I do not use any order blocks. I just use my closest continuation levels, which would be this one. I understand that this whole movement to the downside is just a trap. We use sellers, tap into our continuation level, and then continue much higher. Because as I said, this is previous daily high, and the price is moving up with momentum, so it's probably going to print another daily bullish candle, which should be much higher than the previous one. And as I said before, it's happening on every single time frame. So for example, as you can see, we have this 5 minute, we have a new daily open. So this whole movement to the downside during Asia was just a fake move to create new daily low into our continuation level. Okay, so this was my continuation level, where I was expecting the daily wick to be printed. So this is the first manipulation cycle. And then we had another one after sweeping this hard time frame buy side liquidity and also this Asia high. So as you can see, we swept the Asia high and also the buy side liquidity. Now we had this market shift. So most people think after sweeping Asia high or some type of high on the left, the price should go for the next liquidity point. But we understand that this move during Asia was happening during manipulation cycle at specific time window, and the same thing is going to happen on a slow time frame manipulation cycle after sweeping this high on the left. So in this case, we have a new time window where you can expect fake sells towards the next continuation level, which in this case would be this 3/8 level lining up with this Asia high. So this should be super clean. And as you can see, this whole movement was just a trap to induce sellers, tap into our continuation level, and boom, exactly as expected. Super simple. As you can see, we have a new daily open. By the way, mostly I'll be showing the manipulation cycle on the daily, but it can literally happen on a 4H candle, 1H candle, 30 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, 1 minute, because every single time frame is the same. At this point, we have a beautiful daily high being swept. So most people will be expecting sells towards the next low at this point. So that's exactly what we do not want to do. We only want to wait for a small pullback into our continuation level and then go higher. So now we understand that the daily open will probably tap into this level and go higher. So this whole movement to the downside will be just fake move to induce sellers after this hard time frame liquidity sweep. So we're gonna have plenty of liquidity above this high. So now as you can see, this whole movement to the downside is just a fake move to induce sellers. By the way, this 3/8 level is just refined level. So let's say we have some type of hard time frame POI around this point. As I said, I do not use any order blocks, FPGs, inversions, none of that. Okay, so for example, let's say your hard time frame POI was like this. We tap into it, went higher on a 5 minute, so this should be the 5 minute low being taken. So now this should be the start of the real move to the upside, and let me show you exactly where we entered. So now as you can see, we have this beautiful push. We swept this high on the left, so now we can expect pullback to trap sellers after this liquidity sweep, tap into this order block, possibly continue much lower for people who use liquidity sweeps, but we understand that this whole movement to the downside is just a fake move to induce sellers, and in this case, this was our entry point. Okay, so push, 3/8 level, entry point, stop loss was below this low, and the TP as always, this high on the left at minimum, but usually as I said, it's probably going to go much higher. In this case, I'm just going to show you this as an example, and as you can see, we tapped on this 3/8 level, and now the price should just go higher from this level, and as you can see, exactly as expected, we took out this high on the left, created the pullback to induce sellers into the market, and then continue much higher. And as I said before, every single time frame is the same. So now we have this liquidity sweep. We can just take the push, find this 3/8 level. Let's say we had this huge 1H candle. We have a new opening of this 1H candle. The price will most likely create the wick into this 3/8 level and continue much higher. And that's exactly what will happen after this hard time frame liquidity sweep. So with hard time frame liquidity sweep, we had this fake move to the downside to induce sellers. And then you can just look for continuations from these levels. So hopefully everything makes sense. This is just an example on a hard time frame, but as I said before, you can use the same on a 4H, 1H, 5 minute, 15 minute. For example, in this case, on a 15 minute, we swept this high on the left. So now we have a bunch of sellers trying to take the price lower So we're gonna have a bunch of stop losses above this high. And as you can see, it's super simple. You don't need any order blocks. You don't need any liquidity sweeps, because the more things you're gonna use, the more you're gonna be confused. So hopefully it makes sense. As I said before, the manipulation cycle can be done on every single time frame. So you can also combine it like this, for example. Use one manipulation cycle, find this low of the day by creating this fake move to the downside. Then we hit this one, we swap this high on left. Low time frame market shift when you sellers, and then continue higher. And yeah, hopefully everything makes sense. And if you got other questions, let me know.